So in audio, we are basically blending all of the inputs from stage. So what's an input? A microphone, wireless or wired. Okay, this is a microphone like we might see on a snare drum or a guitar amplifier cabinet. There are two main types of microphones that we are considered with, a dynamic and a condenser. A dynamic is more physical in nature, in that I speak into this dynamic microphone, the waves move through the air, moves the particles as we discussed. There's a tiny diaphragm in there that actually moves this capsule, and as it moves, it makes contact inside of there, and that sends the signal down the line. With a condenser microphone, it's more electronic that happens. So there's always contact, and it's reading the signal electronically and transmitting it that way. Okay? So all you need to know is dynamic or condenser. Condenser microphones do require what's called phantom power. That's 48 volts, which is sent from your I/O box down the XLR to power the microphone. Okay, as I said, a condenser mic is working on electronic signals. There's not enough power in it to carry that signal, and so we use the 48 volts through the speaker line, through the XLR cable, to power the microphone to make it work. Okay, so we'll go through later on the Digico console how to add phantom power, but just so you know, the condenser microphones do require phantom power. So if you're troubleshooting, you're not getting your overheads, you call me, I might ask, do you have phantom power turned on? Okay, we'll talk about that. That's microphones. A DI stands for direct injection. So maybe out of a keyboard or from a guitar, when they send their signal out, they come into a DI box. It converts it from a 1/4 inch cable to an XLR cable, which is what we use in the audio industry. I'll explain more about that in just a moment. Actually, which is right now. So most often in audio, we're using XLR cables, okay, which is your standard microphone cable. It has 3 pins inside of it. Every cable has 3 pins. There's a positive, a negative, and then a ground, okay? So just like we talked about all those waves with positive and negatives, the microphone is carrying those electronic signals in positives and negatives, making that loop. And then there's a ground cable to reduce the hum, eliminate hums, okay? So that's an XLR. It is a grounded 3-pin cable with a positive and negative. An instrument cable would be most often called a 1/4 inch cable. Looks like this. It comes out of a keyboard or out of a guitar. It is unbalanced in that it only carries those positive and negative signals. It does not have the grounding. That means it's more susceptible to pick up hums or interference from on stage. If it happens to lay by a power cable, okay, there's things happening in the power world as well. If an instrument cable is laying by that, it can pick up hums or interference. So we want to keep those separately. We also want to keep our unbalanced cable runs as short as possible, get them into a DI and under our professional balanced system as quickly as possible to eliminate hums or anything like that. A mic stand. Mic stands hold microphones, obviously. There are straight stands and boom stands, the ones that come up and bend, like you see on the overheads here. That is a boom stand that comes up, it has an arm. Okay, so we might call that be a tall boom. There could be short booms or mini booms, which are really short. We're mostly moving away from them because I'm trying to move us all on, for where they're prominently used are drum kits. I'm trying to move away from them as much as possible and move more onto clips and the LP claws, which means less things for you guys have to carry around. That's the reasoning behind that. It makes it really consistent and clean and easy to do a lot of the clips and stuff, and it's less things for you have to carry around, less parts to break, less big, heavy things to carry around, okay?